from KTTC. This is News Center at 6.
Gunfire at a southeast Rochester apartment complex sent a man to the hospital with critical injuries, and police are still searching for the person who pulled the trigger.
Police say that they found the victim in the hallway on the third floor of the 1430 building where the gunfire was first heard. And thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Tom Overlay.
And I'm Vivian Williams in for Caitlin. Officers said the victim does not live at the apartment and the shooting does not appear to be random. And
a woman who lives on the third floor said that a bullet did actually go through her closet. Another witness claimed to have heard at least 3 shots go off. News Center's Uba Ali's been following the story, joins us live from Mayo Clinic with what she has found. Uba?
Good evening, Tom and Vivian. Officers said it was just after 9:40 Wednesday night when police got the call to Meadow Park Apartments near 14th Street and 4th Avenue Southeast. Captain Moylan added that 24-year-old victim was still in critical condition Thursday morning. A family friend tells me the victim, who she identified as Saeed Shida, suffered 11 gunshot wounds, but did not say where those wounds were on his body. Now, I also spoke with a resident of Meadow Park who was home at the time of the shooting. She did not want to be identified, but says she heard arguing earlier in the evening among many people. She heard loud bangs later, opened her door and saw a man she knows as Saeed laying in front of her door. Other residents we spoke with are not surprised by the violence in that neighborhood.
The activity that happens around here doesn't surprise me. I mean, you see different things happening all the time. I didn't really know what was going on, and I run into some neighbors and asked them. Nobody really knew.
An officer on the scene last night, Lieutenant Jim Evenson, says Meadow Park Apartments has a higher average crime rate compared to other areas in the city. Now, this is still an active investigation, and police are looking for the help from the public for this case. Anonymous tips can be made by calling Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. Reporting live at Mayo Clinic, Uba Ali, KTTC News Center.
Okay, thank you, Uba.
Well, we're going to switch gears, head outdoors to the weather patio where Chief Meteorologist Nick Jensen is standing by. A sunny, really lovely Thursday, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic type of weather. We hit the jackpot yet again today with some sunshine, blue skies, and low humidity. That's the main thing. That's why it feels so nice out. Really, that cold front moved through late last night and really changed our weather for the better, at least for today and tomorrow. High temperatures today, only 74 degrees for that high today here in Rochester. Really only one place in southeastern Minnesota and northeastern Iowa. We'll include Wisconsin because La Crosse in Wisconsin, the only place to really hit 80s so far today. 73 currently here in the Med City. Those winds right around 10 miles per hour on our Lucinato camera. So a little breezy, but feels pretty nice outside so far with current temperatures in those lower 70s. Not much different than our high temperature for today as we sit at 73 degrees. Currently down in Mason City, 75, 77. In Austin, feels amazing outside with these dew points in the lower 50s to even upper 30s right now in Austin. That's pretty uncommon for this time of year, at least to have 2 consecutive days like this coming up tomorrow as well. So some sunshine again throughout the rest of your evening. A brisk one tonight with overnight lows down into the lower 50s. High temperature today was 74 degrees, and we're still looking for some rainfall. We actually need some rain. We're actually below normal for this time of year for rainfall, so we could have some rainfall chances coming up this weekend. Not very widespread. We'll break all those details down in your Weather Authority forecast. Back to you.
Thank you, Nick. Well, the man charged in the van fire that took the life of a 6-year-old girl made his first court appearance today. Bail for 7-year-old Roberto Hippolito is set at $100,000 on second-degree manslaughter and negligent fire. Prosecutors say his carelessness was to blame for Tuesday's fire in a Fridley Walmart parking lot that killed 6-year-old Tyra White and critically injured 9-year-old Taraji White. Authorities say Hippolito put a hot camp stove in his van without letting it cool. The resulting fire spread to an adjacent van where the girls were alone while their mother shopped. The girl's mother says Taraji is still fighting for her life. Hippolito is due back in court September 5th.
A visitation in Wilmer for the Rochester family killed in a wrong-way crash on I-90 last Friday. The two vehicles involved were a 2005 Chrysler Sebring and a 2008 Ford Focus. Both vehicles carried 3 people. All 6 passengers and the drivers included died. The Chrysler was driven by Christopher Peterson of Rochester. His passengers were his mother, Esther Peters, and sister, Shayla Peterson. A celebration of life service was at Peterson Brothers Funeral Home in Wilmer. The family says that they are heartbroken by this tragedy and shared with us that Christopher's birthday is tomorrow. He would have been 27. All the people in the Ford Focus were from Wisconsin. Their funerals will be August 15th in Green Bay.
And authorities have released the name of the Cannon Falls area man killed in a tractor rollover Tuesday. The Goodhue County Sheriff's Office says 56-year-old Craig Benson was checking fences, driving his tractor out in the fields when the tractor rolled. It happened just before 4:30 Tuesday afternoon on 323rd Street Way, southeast of Cannon Falls.
Well, Governor Tim Walz has announced a new vendor to replace the state's troubled vehicle title and registration computer system. Walz says the state has signed a contract with Fast Enterprises to provide a software solution that will replace Minnesota vehicle license and registration system, also known as MNLARS. The cost of the new system will be about $34 million. Minnesota taxpayers have spent about $100 million the past 10 years on MNLARS, which will recall ran into a lot of trouble as soon as it was launched. Have you ever wanted to take a look behind the curtain at a hydroelectric dam? You'll have 2 opportunities coming up.
The Lake Zumbro Dam near Mazeppa will open to the public this weekend, celebrating the dam's 100-year anniversary. News Center's Shannon Rousseau checked it out ahead of time.
This is the first time in nearly a century that people will get to take an inside look at the Lake Zumbro hydroelectric plant. But before the crowds start coming out, we got the chance to take a sneak peek.
Running water has generated electricity at the Lake Zumbro Dam for a century. Rochester Public Utilities has owned and operated the site since construction started in 1917 and ended in 1919. RPU's Tony Benson gave us a glimpse inside.
This is where people will be entering the facility right here.
By right here, Benson means the powerhouse. There's 2 turbines which use water to create electricity with space for a third, though RPU's never built one.
This is the basement. This is the underside of those 2 turbines. The water's going through right underneath the concrete that we're standing on right now.
With little to no lights, it's difficult to see the water going through, but it does, helping to generate more than 12,000 megawatt hours per year. That's enough energy to power 1,500 homes.
So this is Lake Zumbro. We're on top of the dam.
Perhaps the most striking view of the tour is at the very end, on top of the dam. If you can picture it, the 2 turbines are behind and just underneath where we're standing.
This is spillway, yep. And from here over to the far side, it's 440 feet across. So it's able to pass a lot of water through.
Surprisingly, the dam isn't staffed on a day-to-day basis. RPU has workers who conduct safety and maintenance checks on a weekly basis. Other than that, it's pretty quiet, unlike the water running over the spillway.
And if you want to get a closer look at this structure, tours are this Friday and Saturday. Friday, it's going to be from noon to 5, while Saturday is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. In Mazeppa, Shannon Rousseau, KTTC News Center.
Wonderful. And still ahead, Minnesota is testing the waters on hemp farming. We'll have the latest from Farm Fest.
But first, it is Thursday, which means there's a big party going on downtown. We're going to talk to some local businesses coming out.
This is KTTC News Center at 6 with Tom Overley, Caitlin Alexander, Chief Meteorologist Nick Jansen, and Sports with Pat Lund.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping. It's been a near perfect day to spend some time outside.
Not really perfect, but the picture-perfect days have been somewhat hard to come by this summer. It's impacted local businesses as well. News Center's Barrett Leone joins us live from Thursday's downtown with a look at that impact. Barrett.
Yeah, good evening, Tom and Vivian. Thursday events are a big deal for Rochester. Now, this is week 9 of 2019 Thursdays downtown, and because of the weather, not all Thursdays Thursday downtown events have gone as planned. Now, since 2004, Thursdays downtown has been growing to include about 120 vendors, some local businesses here in Rochester and others from out of state. This year, inclement weather caused 1 cancellation and 3 half-days. According to management, that's a little higher compared to previous years. Those shutdowns have cost some vendors, like third-year returner Snappy Dog Salsa.
I do a whole lot of my business between 5 and 8:30, so it impacted sales fairly dramatically, but when you do outdoor stuff, you take your chances.
Hines adds that he doubles his income during the summer months, spending every weekend at a fair or festival similar to Thursdays. Thursdays downtown wraps up at 8:30 tonight, and there are only 3 more Thursday events this summer, the last one falling on August 29th. Reporting live in downtown Rochester, Barrett Leone, KTTC News Center.
Oh, thank you, Barrett. I have not been down to the Thursdays yet this summer, so I better get on the shtick, right? Well, still ahead tonight, farmers on edge with the current trade wars. What one group, though, is doing to answer questions and give some peace of mind.
And it's the Twins versus Indians at Target Field. Mark has a preview later in sports.
Hey, and check out this from our intern, Connor Hopkins. Today is his last day here with KTTC. Just want to say thank you to Connor for this beautiful weather bump shot this evening. Of course, good luck to you as you head back to school as well. We'll have your Weather Authority forecast coming up right after this.
A trucking company in Minneapolis is being accused of violating federal law in the way it hires truck drivers.
Stan Koch & Sons Trucking uses a strength test in its hiring process, and the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission says that's discriminatory against women. The EEOC says it has filed a lawsuit on behalf of a class of women who were fired because they failed something called the CRT test. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits workplace discrimination. The federal agency says it is committed to expanding women's access to traditionally male-dominated careers like driving trucks. A patch of land at the annual Minnesota Farm Fest is attracting a lot of attention.
It's the Minnesota Department of Agriculture's test plot for marijuana's harder working cousin, industrial hemp. John Stofus was the first Minnesota farmer to sign up for the state's hemp pilot program a few years back. And while we know the crop for its fiber and the CBD oil that's booming now, a lot of John's hemp ends up being shipped as a plant-based protein food additive. The Ag Department is promoting hemp as a good product for farmers looking for another way to ride out the ups and downs of the ag economy. But Minnesota Congressman Colin Peterson is wary.
And I've supported the legalization of hemp for 20 years. But I am nervous about what's going on.
The United States is going to become the second largest hemp producing country in the world this year after just 4 or 5 years of growing opportunity in the United States.
But Minnesota's Industrial Hemp Association remains optimistic about the future of the plant in this plot. The big takeaways from the industrial hemp farm at Farm Fest are that this crop does have huge potential in Minnesota, but people are going to wade through all the regulations because the federal government isn't all on board yet. And taking a look at the future of agriculture.
Professional farm managers stopped by Rochester this morning, breaking down some topics ranging from technology to market trends. Dozens of area farm owners turned out for Hertz Farm Management's landowner education seminar. Consultants and appraisers took some time to educate attendees on organic production, GMOs, grain markets, leasing options, and even hemp production. The seminars are designed for landowners who don't farm their own land. Experts say trade, relations, and tax issues were 2 hot topics of conversation.
Talking a lot about trade wars, both with China, Mexico, and Canada. A lot of trade agreements are in play right now, but what is the impact of China and them having this trade war and our soybeans not being purchased by them? How does that affect us now? How does that affect us going out the next few months, even years into the future?
And during the past week, the landowner education seminar has traveled across Iowa and Illinois before it concludes tomorrow in Nebraska. And maybe a little bit of good news for many farmers is the weather has been fairly decent lately, this week at least.
Yeah. Although I did talk to a couple farmers on Tuesday, and they had upwards of 3 inches of rain.
And some hail there, too.
And some hail as well. So, yeah, the severe weather that we had on Monday, not the best, but the good news is we have a slow drying pattern here, at least through the last couple days, and as we extend towards your weekend as well. I think rain, though, will be back in the forecast for Saturday and Sunday. Here's a look at Signal Hill on our Lewis and Otto camera. Rochester, we have those clear skies so far this afternoon and into your evening. Very comfortable conditions, and it is 6 o'clock, so we have our Garden Gallery winner. Today, Rita Phelps coming in from Orinoco, and some beautiful tiger lilies there, as hopefully everyone's gardens have been doing well. You've had to water your gardens lately with some of our deficits with rainfall, but of course you can send in your garden photos to garden@kttc.com, and Rita, you can head down to Sargent's on 2nd to claim your gift card. Temperatures outside right now, 73 degrees here in the Med City. In Rochester, we have some sunshine. Those winds right around 10 miles per hour, so a nice little north-northwesterly breeze keeping humidity down. These dew points into the lower 50s. It feels fantastic outside. So if you want to go down to Thursday's downtown, perfect night to do it with very comfortable conditions. Temperatures right now, for the most part, mid to lower 70s. Austin still at 77 degrees, 73 in Albert Lee, 75 in Mason City. Here in the Med City at 73 degrees. It feels amazing because these dew points are in the lower 50s. We even have upper 30s right now in Austin at 39 degrees for that dew point. So the low humidity sticks around for another day until we have dew points back into the mid to even upper 60s by the time we head towards your weekend. Satellite radar, we have some showers and thunderstorms well off to our west into Nebraska. We're quiet. We'll stay clear tonight. I think winds also calm a little bit overnight. That will drop our overnight lows down into the lower 50s. So yeah, a little brisk early tomorrow morning. Mild weather continues for your Friday. Some weather models have our temperatures only in the lower 70s. I think we make it to those mid 70s for tomorrow. And then storms potentially by your weekend, especially on Saturday. Saturday looks to be our best chance in the next several days. I think we have rain chances Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and even into next week as well for the middle portion of next week. So that mild weather pattern continues, though. You'll see that in extended 7-day forecast. High temperatures only expected in the mid 70s next week as well. So tonight with those clear skies and those light winds, Futurecast has us down into the upper 40s. I think lower 50s, more realistic for overnight lows tonight. Tomorrow, some increase in cloud cover, especially west of I-35 for tomorrow. But temperatures warming up. I think we're into those mid to upper 70s. We'll run about 75 to 80 degrees widespread here across the viewing area. Tomorrow night into early on Saturday morning. Here's our next disturbance. I think for the most part, it stays down to the south and to the southwest of at least Rochester, Preston area. Albert Lee, Austin, Mason City, rain chances a little bit higher early on Saturday morning. Then by about 8:30, 9 o'clock, we could have some scattered showers in the forecast for the Med City. 53 then for the overnight low tonight. Brisk early tomorrow morning. For your forecast then on Friday, beautiful conditions, 77 to get outside and enjoy. It'll be comfortable and we'll see some sunshine before we have some isolated rain chances on your Saturday and on your Sunday, your Monday and your Tuesday, and then we're dry and sunny on Wednesday. But although we have those rain chances, I don't think we're looking at washout conditions by any means the next several days. But those mid 70s next week, that's picture perfect.
You know, Vivian is a gardener, and I'm thinking you've been out kind of doing some stuff lately with the nice weather. Or you've probably been too busy doing this gig and some other gigs around town.
I'm doing a lot of gigs right now, but I always find time for the garden.
Love the garden.
As do you.
Well, we got to show some pictures of her.
I was thinking that, especially my husband. He is a real gardener.
We're going to do that. All right, thank you, Nick. Yeah. Coming up in sports, the Vikings put the final touches on their preparation for their first preseason game of 2019.
Plus, the Twins welcome the Indians to Target Field tonight for what they're calling the Series of the Year. Mark is next with sports.